Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm back at Precision Golf, and today the topic of the video is going to be how we can fix a hook. I've got the Trackman up behind me. I'm going to show you some screenshots of me hitting a few balls, and I'm going to show you the true way of how to keep a good contact, but also hit that draw that everybody wants. So I hope you enjoy it, and I'll catch up with you at the end. Okay, so there's lots of people out there now, you might be one of them, who's tried to draw the ball, but it's really had a negative effect on your ball striking. And that's because I see it a lot online, Instagram, YouTube, wherever, where people are trying to, or they've been told to, throw the club out to the right-hand side. Now, the biggest issue I have with that piece of advice is that it usually bottoms out the angle of attack. If your backswing is in a position where a fade is more likely than a draw, you will have to try and feel as if you throw the club out to the right. The huge benefit that I've ever given someone is the ability to draw it without them having to try and draw it. The big part for a draw is that club path is just created by certain variables you can hit in your backswing. Now, on the screen there, I've got a few numbers, chief of which are swing direction, angle of attack, and club path. You can see on that screen, I've hit that shot fairly straight with a 0.2 path and a 0.3 club face angle. But you can see how my swing direction is 2.4 degrees left. Swing direction is essentially your swing is an arc, okay, so imagine a hula hoop, and the swing direction is measured at the bottom of that hoop, okay, so effectively a zero angle of attack. Now what you'll see there is left is a minus number, so I've got a minus 2.4 swing direction, but I hit 4 degrees down on the ball. Now when you hit 4 degrees down on the ball, it pushes your path right of your swing direction. Now imagine if you were told to swing it out to the right, which is very common nowadays. So you get set up and then you're told to throw it out to the right. Okay, so you might get the swing direction in the correct spot. You might hit this big draw, but now look, I've got a 1 degree upward angle of attack. And that's why you might hit it great off a range map, but when you got on grass and you have that swing thought, you might experience a lot of heavy shots and top shots. The most important part of this video is for you to understand that we always want to keep downstrike. Downstrike is the most important part of any golf swing outside face angle, because it essentially means that you'll just hit the ball better. And nobody doesn't want to go out on the course and strike the ball well. I think tons of my clients and certainly followers would actually rather go out, hit the ball well, maybe not score their absolute best, but just go out, strike the ball clean, and then come in 2 or 3 over handicap, because at least it's an enjoyable day. You know, you can have scrambly days where you score well, but don't hit it very good. So what I'll do now is make a slightly more conventional swing. So I'm a fader, so I'm going to try and hit one fairly neutral, and we'll look at those numbers again. So maybe a slight pull, couple of yards. But there again, you can see swing direction 4.1 degrees left, but I hit 5 degrees down, which gave me a 1 degree path. Now for a drawer, okay, to try and get a draw but maintain downstrike, it is more about creating a neutral swing direction, okay? When you hit down on the ball, that will push the path to the right. So what I would suggest you do is abandon the feeling of trying to swing out to the right. We want to be able to hit a draw, so I'm going to grip it a little bit stronger on this one and see if I can hit a draw for you. So let's get a neutral swing direction. That was hit a little bit thin, but it should have the flight. Okay, prime example. Swing direction 1.4 left, so I'm still swinging my overall circle left, but I maintained a 4.5 degree downward angle of attack, and that pushed my path 1.6 from the inside. And that's how you maintain strike, but also draw the ball. Drawing the ball is worthless if you lose strike. Okay, if you duff it or top it, but then you hit a lovely flush high draw, doesn't matter, because golf is really built of your bad shots. Okay, if you duff it and top it, it's going to cost you pretty much a whole shot every time. So what I suggest you do is actually get the backswing in a position which delivers a inside path, but at the same time as you will be able to rotate left. Now, the simplest way to do this is to create depth in your backswing. Depth is essentially, for me, it's how far inside my ball to target line the butt of the club gets. If you're a fader, it's absolutely fine to have your left arm a little higher, okay, so we see the butt of the club is less deep. But if you want to draw the ball, we want to try and get the hand path feeling a little bit more inside, because now, like I said in the video a couple of days ago, as we pull the handle towards the ball, that gets the club to shallow out more than enough, and I can match that with rotation left. So now I'll give you a drill of how to create depth, and we're going to combine something we've done before with something slightly new. Okay, so we're back with the trusty Swiss ball. Now, usually when people are trying to get depth, hand path and depth are really byproducts of a good quality rotation. Okay, if you just try and suck the arms in, you're not really going to get much benefit. But if you work on your rotation in your backswing, then you can almost feel as if the hand path works more around you, just as a byproduct of the quality of the rotation. So what we're going to do again, we're going to put it on our left pocket, okay, lead pocket. Then you're going to get in a normal setup, and I want you to feel as if as you move back, this right pocket is going to try and work its way towards your left heel. Okay, so the right hip doesn't just go back, because there you can see we don't really get much roll of the ball. But what the right pocket does is it moves back, but also around. Okay, so it's almost moving towards target. Now look at the depth I can get to my arms, the depth I can get to the handle. Whereas a lot of people who struggle with a draw and have to feel as if they do throw it out to the right are often lateral movers off the ball, because that causes a hand path which works too high, and then it's very, very difficult to draw it from here. Once you've done that a few times and you get the freedom of the roll up to the top, you'll start to feel that you're balancing the circle. You're getting more depth to this side of the circle, which in those views where I've got the drill stick, you know, it really shows that we have to have depth to either side of the arc. If the trail side of the arc, the backswing, lacks depth, you'll definitely be more of a fader. And if you try and draw it, you'll run into some trouble because you'll have to manufacture the draw. So when we're going up, we're really trying to squeeze and roll and allow the hands to work around us. For those of you that lift the arms, that's because you're not turning through the lower half. You'll feel as if you almost create a nice amount of depth to that left arm. So what we can do after we've done that drill, that's going to create depth to the backswing, okay, which will get the path coming from the inside without you even having to try and get it on the inside. It should hopefully happen naturally, particularly if you've got a strong club face. Okay, if the club face is open and you're slicing it, trying to draw is basically going to be banging your head against a brick wall. So make sure the face is squared up first. What we can start to do now is hit a few balls with the feeling of creating depth. And what we should see is a swing direction, which if you are left, will get a little less left. But you're going to try and get the same feel. Okay? I'm trying to roll the ball and allow my hand path to work deeper, okay? To let my hand path work around me. So let's see, again, let's see if I can hit a draw. Let's have a look. So deep turn. So much deeper turn at the top. That might turn over a bit too much, but that's like the absolute goal. So 3.5 degrees down, it's an A time by the way, a 0.1 swing direction. So that swing plane, that circle, is zeroed out at the bottom, but because I hit 3.5 degrees down, that pushes my path 2 degrees from the inside, and that creates that draw bias pattern. So even though I'm turning really well into my left side, I'm balancing the circle up so I can create an even depth to my circle, and I can maintain downstrike. The reason why we have maintained downstrike in that last shot is because our quality of rotation in our downswing. If you don't create depth at the top of the backswing, you have to really stand up through this left side, which often gets your upper body to tilt back, and that will move the low point too early, okay? And therefore you'll hit up and lose your contact. Whereas hopefully what you saw in that swing was, yeah, a great rotation into the backswing, but actually because I've got the club coming down where I need it to, by just a byproduct of how good I got at the top, I can actually keep the club moving around me and get into my left side, which therefore maintains a downward contact on the back of the ball, and I can hit these really nice kind of compressed tight draws. There's no need for you to try to tilt back to try to throw the club out to the right. It's really not necessary. So put really simply, the checkpoints I'd like you to have, as you get to the top of your backswing, I want you to feel as if this right pocket has made a full rotation. It goes back and left towards your lead side. That would create depth to this side of the circle, and we should see the butt of the club, if we had a plumb line coming down, it would dissect your right ankle. That would therefore mean that the club would come from the inside without you having to try and do any of this funky stuff, in which case then you're in a really good spot to be able to rotate in the downswing. And in the downswing rotation, that's where we create downstrike. But if you're trying to throw the club out to the right, it's likely you're moving more sideways, which gets the club to bottom out, and that's where you lose your contact. So there you have it, guys. I hope all of that made sense. When you get the backswing in the good position like I've just shown you, you'll see that club path, angle of attack, they're all coincidental things that happen at strike, but we don't need to try and create them on the way down. To round up, number one is don't try and swing out to the right. Let your left swing direction and downward angle of attack push your path to the right. Number two is to create depth to your backswing. That drill is a brilliant drill which I use all the time if people are struggling to hit a draw. That would create an inside hand path, give you the depth you need at the top to shallow the club on the way down. It's an absolute belter. Number three is to essentially start to learn on the way down that you can rotate. If you have high arms and a lack of depth, rotation into your downswing can be more damaging than helpful. Whereas when you get into a slightly deeper backswing with a good turn, rotation left starts to make sense. And you can still draw it even though you feel as if you're swinging your body to the left. So let me know if you've got any questions. I look forward to hearing all your thoughts. And if you would like to see any more videos, feel free to drop some ideas in the comments box below. And if you enjoyed it, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to make sure that you don't miss any future videos. So thanks again. Look forward to seeing you all soon.